Hey y'all, it's Farmer MeeMaw. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, be sure that you subscribe and click the bell so you get notifications whenever I post a video. Today I am participating in the Crocktober extravaganza. It is a really cool collaboration that was started by Amanda over at the Bills and Lisa at Sutton's Days. There's a group on Facebook called it Crocktober extravaganza. You need to go over there. It's an amazing place for wonderful recipes and Crockpot and Instant Pot advice. I'll leave a link below so you can go over there and join that group. There are also, join the group and you need to enter to win the giveaway. It is an awesome Instant Pot giveaway. You need to go check it out. So now let me get to what I'm making for today. It is a keto-friendly pumpkin dessert worthy of any Thanksgiving dessert table, and I'm going to show you how I'm making it in the crock pot. Super easy, but it does take some steps. So come on over here so you can see. Okay, so let me tell you what I have in this bowl. This is a half a cup of coconut flour and 2 1/4 cups of almond flour. To this, we're going to add our dry ingredients, and that is, I've got about a tablespoon. Y'all know I'm heavy-handed on spices. I've got about a tablespoon of cinnamon, about a teaspoon of clove, maybe a little bit more, and about a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And I'm going to add all of those. And if y'all want these ingredients, I will post a blog post and then I'll put a link below to that so you can get the recipe if you don't catch everything I say here. In this bowl, I have a teaspoon of salt, I have a tablespoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of baking soda. Put all of that in there. Alright guys, this is really important when you're making a keto dessert. This is a teaspoon and a half, or half of a tablespoon of xanthan gum. Okay, let's put that in there. It's about a cup and a half of Pyure, and that any kind of stevia erythritol blend. And there's that. Now, this is technically all of our dry ingredients. Let me get me a spoon here. But we're also going to add our butter to this, because if you think about adding butter to a wet ingredients, you know, you're just going to get little globby chunks of fat everywhere. So I'm going to put the butter in my dry ingredients, and then I'm going to blend it up with a little mixer a little bit real quick. There we go. Now this is I'm adding a stick and a half of butter that's been softened. So it's kind of liquidy and kind of still slightly solidish. Whoops, sorry, did I bump y'all? My sleeves are driving me crazy. I'm knocking stuff over. Okay, so I'm going to blend this up. I'm going to moisten this a little bit so that it doesn't fly everywhere, and then I'll just run the mixer through it just to get it completely blended. Well, I thought that was going to help a little more than it did, but I'll figure it out. Ooh, look at all those spices, y'all. It smells good already. Now, we're just going to put it on low. Y'all notice, look at this. Look, no hands. Do you see how this is not going anywhere? Y'all, I love these. Isn't that pretty? It looks kind of sandy. I love these bowls. I actually got them at Sam's. I'll put a link to them below. But do you see they have this rubber bottom, and it keeps them from scooting around, and they have all different sizes. I love these things. And they've got lids that fit on them, and you can put them in the refrigerator. It's amazing. Anyway, okay, so there are the dry ingredients. Next, we are going to mix up our wet ingredients. So I'm going to put the dry ingredients out of the way. Okay, I'm going to start out with 2 cups of pumpkin. I'm going to use this thing here. I've got 2 cups. You can use one of the a 15-ounce can of the pumpkin puree, not pumpkin pie just plain old pumpkin, y'all. Okay, and there is 2 cups of that. I've got a 1/4 cup of almond milk, and then I've got inside of here is about 2 teaspoons of vanilla, so almost a tablespoon of vanilla. I'm gonna add that. 1/2 cup of coconut oil, and I'm gonna add this in. And then, now I'm adding 5 eggs, but if you've got 4 large eggs, that will work. My eggs are a little on the small side, and so I'm adding an extra egg. And one of the other things about keto cooking is that eggs are one of those things, like you're not going to get a lot of rise out of almond flour and coconut flour the way you do with the gluten flour. And so eggs and baking powder are your best friend when you're making a keto baked dessert or baked good. Ooh, those. Oh, it's trying to give me some shells, y'all. No, don't give me shells. Okay, please don't. Okay, woo, there we go. All right, so there's that. So I'm done with that. Boop. All right, now get all this out of the way. Get my eggshells out of the way. I'm gonna mix the wet into the dry. Y'all know how this goes. Now, let me show you what we have to do next. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is make the crumble that I'm going to put in between the 2 layers of the cake in the crock pot, and then some on top. The first thing I'm going to do is, well, to this I can go ahead and add, I can get this open. These are walnuts, probably maybe about a 1/2 cup. I don't know, however many. Oh, and you know what? There are actually some sunflower seeds in there as well. And the next thing I'm going to do is chop some pecans. I'm just going to do that in my little handy dandy little whiz jig here. It's like a food processor, but tiny. That's good enough. Bunch of different size chunks. Got some big chunks, got some little chunks. Ooh, apparently got some completely whole chunks there. Just want them to be, and you can do this with a knife, of course. You know, you can just chop them up, chop you some nuts. Okay, so there's some pecans. And the next thing I'm gonna do, I want some cranberries in this little crumble layer. I'm actually going to add some sugar first. And you can add sugar to taste. It doesn't really, you know, matter how much you put. I'm going to put quite a bit because I like sugar in my crumble. And I'm also going to add salt. So I'm going to get my kosher salt out because salt, woo, that was a little much, but that's okay. I would probably just add maybe a teaspoonish. Add some more because I want more. Woo. I wanted to get them good and coated. So they don't stick. So then I'm going to add all of that. Oh, those cranberries, that sugar is pink, so those cranberries flavor that sugar a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to mix this around a little bit. Got a 1/2 stick of butter. So I'll put 2 teaspoons of coconut flour in there. You really want to make sure you've got that butter good and incorporated into all of it. You might want to use your hands even. I'll probably use my hands to put it in, so I'll check it in. I'm gonna add a little more sugar. Ooh, and y'all, I forgot some of the most important ingredients in this layer. Oh my goodness, this would have been a very bland layer. Got to put my cinnamon and clove. My cinnamon and clove go everywhere, y'all. And you could probably do a dash of vanilla as well if you wanted to. I'm gonna put a scant teaspoon of clove. I'll put about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Oh, I'm making a mess, y'all. I'm making a mess, making a mess, making a mess. That's what I do. Alright, so now we're just going to make sure all of those spices are mixed in. And I am just going to grab a bit back. Oh my word. I couldn't taste it. I may have added just a dash of too much salt, but that's okay. It's really good. Alright. So here's what we do next. We're going to put it in the crock pot. Let me clean up. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do, which is not necessarily necessary, but I'm going to spray with some cooking spray. You can also use a bag. Ooh. I was going to use a bag, but my daughter couldn't find them when she went to the store. So I'm doing it without a bag. I didn't use a bag the last time I made them. I just thought it might be nice to be able to pick it up out of the crock pot in order to cut it instead of scoop it. But you know, scooping it was just as delicious. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put down half of our batter. And it's really thick batter. So I put it down in clumps. You see how it's clumping? I put it in clumps and then I spread it. And I think I've got about half or so. But I also, when you make a cake, especially a keto cake in a crock pot, you really need to put some type of towel in between the crock pot itself and the lid to absorb that moisture. Otherwise, the cake's gonna stay wet. And that was especially true with this when I made it last time. Oh, this might be enough for both. Put a good layer here. Now I might need to make a little bit more. Want to have a good, nice, solid layer. You definitely want this in every bite because it is delicious. Well, not every bite, because you know I'm gonna do it again like this and spread it. Let's see. This will be good. There you go. Okay, so I am putting my little tea towel, flour sack, cloth towel on here. I've turned it on low. It is currently about 12:30, so it should cook about 4 hours. It may take 6 or more depending on how your crock pot heats, but we'll come back and we'll check it in 4 hours and see how it's coming. Okay, so it's been 4 hours. It seems to be almost done. And so I'm going to show you what I'm going to make for the topping. Now you could make a frosting or icing or something like that, but we've got that crumble on top. And I want to make a cream cheese whipped cream. And so I've got 2 ounces of cream cheese, and I'm gonna add, oh, I don't know, enough to add up to about a cup, so that it comes up to about the cup mark. I'm gonna add some Pyure to this. Not too much, because I really don't want it that sweet. Probably maybe about a tablespoon, if that. And now I'm gonna whirl it up. You could add spice to this as well, but there's so much spice in the cake itself. I just wanted this to be just a fresh element. All right, so I'm gonna add another 2 ounces. So a total of 4 ounces of cream cheese to this. All right, and I'm gonna stop there because if I mix it anymore, what's gonna happen is it'll turn to butter. And I do not want it to turn to butter. Okay. I think that is perfect. I'm gonna put it in the fridge until the cake is ready. Okay, I've turned it off. It's been 4 hours. Ooh. So let me test it. I'm gonna get my little sticky thing here, and we're gonna feel it. I mean, it's coming out clear, but now we need to let it cool. Okay, so now it's done, and this is the moment of truth. We're gonna find out if it's edible or not, and if it's good. And it is kind of dark around the edges, but that's okay, y'all. Ooh, and it's still hot. So this is what it looks like. You can see it's still steaming. And this is the whipped cream that I made with the cream cheese. I'm just gonna put it all up on it. Oh, it's starting to melt it already, y'all. Okay. Oh, so good. It's almost like a cross between a pumpkin pie and a coffee cake and a cobbler. Oh my. It's so good. So that's it, y'all. It is so good. Hope you enjoy it. Let me know if you make it down in the comments below. Give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah. Bye, y'all.